Hello and welcome everyone. During this webinar, we will cover two important topics for marketing agencies: how to retain clients and how to improve your agency's efficiency, leading to an increase in the number of hours that you can spend on high-value billable client work. Now, we encourage you to submit the questions throughout the session, and we will do our best to answer them after or during the session. Also, feel free to visit the Watergraph booth in the event platform and have a chat about marketing data challenges there. Now, some information about the speakers. My name is Linas Zamaitis. I'm VP of Marketing at Watergraph, and I have over 11 years of experience in digital marketing and web analytics. Watergraph is a marketing data platform that enables marketing agencies to save dozens of hours of time each week and retain more clients by improving marketing data management processes and also reporting processes. We have over 1,000 marketing agencies as our clients, so we are fairly familiar with their pain points and how to solve them. And joining me today is Simon and Simon from Market Solutions. Market Solutions is a full-service digital marketing agency from Sweden, and they are one of our happy customers and will be delighted to share some of the practical examples how they approach marketing data management, Pinterest reporting at their agency. So I will perhaps let both Simons to give a short introduction about themselves and Market Solutions.
Yeah, so as mentioned, we're both named Simon, and we're both working as marketing specialists at Market Solutions. We're a pretty small agency with a lot of clients in Sweden, but have clients throughout mostly Nordic countries. We're specialized on digital media mostly, but our take on it is like whatever the client needs or wants, we set it up for them to drive the best results in the campaigns as possible.
Yeah, as Simon said, I'm also Simon, and we're based in Gothenburg on the west coast in Sweden.
Awesome. So let's start with a bit of a market insight. So why do clients end their agency relationships? Obviously, retaining clients for as long as possible and keeping them happy is crucial for marketing agencies. And agencies usually think, a lot of them, that number one reason that the clients ended their relationship are the budget cuts. Now, there was a survey done in 2022 by Setup on agency client relationships, and actually they discovered that the budget cuts are not even in the top 5 of reasons why they end their relationships. And actually, the main reasons why clients end the relationships with the agencies are because the agencies are not strategic enough, not collaborative, and not transparent. And ultimately, the clients want better communication from their agencies and to see real value delivered. And obviously, super important for an agency to demonstrate that they deliver real value. And so how can, if you work on at the agency, maybe doing Pinterest or many other channels, for your clients. So how can you achieve this as the agency? I think tip number 1 for us is to ensure that you provide regular updates to clients. Perhaps I can share a personal story of my experience with agencies. So I currently work with a marketing agency in Estonia, and they run Watergraph advertising campaigns. So I'm in an interesting position that we serve agencies in Watergraph, but I also use agency services for our own marketing. So yeah, definitely work closely with the agencies on both fronts. And we have a bi-weekly call with them where we go through all the campaigns and actions, and they also share a weekly performance update in Slack every week. So that's nice, but perhaps one of the things that I find the most valuable for them is that they also have a real-time dashboard that is also shared with us, that has all of our campaigns and channels that we're running, and I can see where like are we hitting the main KPIs, and like is our cost per acquisition, for example, on track, or is it too high this month? I can see it straight away, and it really provides a lot of transparency. So maybe perhaps market solution guys could also share a bit how they provide regular updates to clients, to their clients.
Yeah, sure. Just saying about the retention of the customers, we found, as you said, that transparency is really important, but also to educate the customers so we can in common ground see what KPIs we're looking at, and both parties need to understand them. It's easy for our agency to just throw so much numbers to the customers, and it's not 100% sure that the customers really understand what we're looking at. So in the beginning, we need to educate that everyone in the same page. I think that's really important, because I've been sitting in so many meetings where you talk and you think, yeah, I get value from this, but the customers don't really understand what you're talking about. And then you can, yeah, so you really need to get the customers to understand the numbers you're showing them.
Right, yeah, that totally resonates. That totally resonates. And moving on, I think also the kind of point that you touch upon and I touch upon briefly, I think it's important to agree on the KPIs that really matter to the customer, and ensure that you are strategically aligned with your clients, and that you have the same understanding of value as they do. And so obviously, you know, as someone who outsources marketing agencies, nothing is worse than the agency sometimes just reports on some vanity metrics, and they think, you know, they are doing really well with their campaigns. And when in reality, I check the data at a deeper level, and there is no connection between campaigns and the bottom line. So I think, like, if you're working on B2C clients, then obviously, ultimately, you probably want to see revenue and orders generated from campaigns, and that will impress a lot more than just impressions and clicks. I think in B2B, leads that fit your ideal customer profile will be a lot better than just any leads, and a lot of the time, I know B2B companies are disappointed by the quality of the leads. So in Watergraph, we like to optimize our campaigns for metrics even deeper in the funnel, like for example, opportunities created and opportunities won. But I assume most of the audience here today will be B2C agencies focusing on B2C, as the event is Pinterest specific. So maybe let's not spend too much time on that. And additionally, another way how you can improve the transparency and trust with the client is obviously to ensure that you report the performance of all the campaigns granularly, and also report on the overall channel metrics. So I think, as mentioned before, something that I really appreciate from my agency, and I think what market solution guys are doing, is to build a real-time dashboard for your clients, containing both campaign granular data and also channel-specific data, blended data, bonus points if you can group and aggregate this data in a way that makes sense, rather than maybe having like a long list of campaigns. If you can group them as well, to make sort of the insights more digestible. Yeah, and market solutions will show, I think, towards the end of the presentation, a real life example of how they do it as well. So moving on, another again tip from us is to ensure that you share insights and not just data. So last year we surveyed marketing agencies ourselves, and we found that 42% of the clients are unhappy with the reports we get, while agencies still spend 1 to 4 hours per week on reporting for a single client. So we also often hear that many clients of agencies don't understand the reports that agencies send to them. So it's crucial to ensure that you share insights along with the data, and like marketing platforms, marketing data platforms like Watergraph make this easy by enabling, for example, users to insert comments to real-time dashboards, as you can see an example. But maybe we can hear from Market Solutions as well, how they do it for their clients.
So as we have talked about before, the transparency for most of our clients are key. We need to understand the KPIs. We need to understand the goals and what we thrive for as a marketing agency. And as you said, not just data, and also share insights. Like we can see different trends. We need to do some sort of analytic type of view to move further on to optimize the campaigns on the right way to thrive more traffic, reach, sales, revenue due to the KPIs.
Yeah, I think if you just shows the data, it's only a receipt to customers that, yeah, we went with this campaign, you spend this money and you get these impressions, and that's a receipt that everything worked. But then when you add on, like, compared to last year or compared to your other companies in your branch and stuff like that, you add value, you add insights. So it's really important to you dig down and get some insights and not just report on what you have done to the customer.
Sounds good, like really useful tips. The final recommendations from us is to ensure that you are more strategically aligned with the client and that you plan collaboratively and enjoy to the client's planning rhythms. So I think nothing is worse when agencies really fail to understand the next quarter or yearly priorities of a client and come up with a bunch of initiatives or ideas for campaigns which are misaligned with what the client wants to achieve.
But I think this is a communication. It's really important to understand your customers, and also you have to understand your customers' business. And otherwise, you cannot know what's the next quarter, next year, what product should be focused on. So I think it's really, really important in the beginning to understand your customer business, maybe understand which product has the highest margin, what is the lifetime value, so you can start calculating, and yes, we should do a campaign toward these products because it's really important for your business. So in the end, I think it's understand your customer's business and to communicate with the customer.
Right. Yeah, definitely good advice. And I think just to summarize that there's obviously a lot of things that agencies need to do to ensure that they make their clients happy and that they maintain the relationship long term. But all of these things can be difficult to achieve and time-consuming to do without the right solutions in place. And now Market Solutions will show a real-life example of how they solved all of these problems and how they report to their clients. Here's an example of their client report. The data here is sample data, so not the real data of their client, but this is exactly how their report looks to one of their clients. So maybe one of the assignments could give a quick explanation of how we approach the overview and the insights.
Yeah, as you said, this is a real report with the sample data instead. And we always start with the report with the customer's logo and our logo. And then also the dates. So we talk about the dates and the periods we're looking at, and in Watergraph you can also compare to last year or custom period. So that's really handy. And then we usually start with a campaign overview. We have a summary of the campaign. So maybe on this campaign we were focusing on this product, and we did this. This was the settings for the campaign, and then we also have recommendations. If we want to optimize, maybe we try new creatives. We try some new texts in the ads, for example. And then we usually start with the website's insights, and then we're looking at sessions. From what sources do we get traffic? How does these sources compare to each other's? And then how many goals? Yeah, of course you need to have some steps before, some tracking on your website, and now we have Google Analytics data here. That's the website insights.
Yeah, so the interesting insight for me is that obviously even if you're just running Pinterest, it's still important to not just perhaps report on Pinterest, but you will provide more value and transparency to the client if you report on cross-channel data and blend it together in at least one report. So yeah, looks like an interesting example.
Yeah, and then we used to have the conversions, or if it's an e-commerce, we have a section that's only focusing on conversions or sales. So for example, these customers only have, so if someone makes an inquiry with email or call them, you get a goal completions. And if there's an e-commerce, of course, you can see transaction data. And here you get the goal completion, the conversion rate, and again, how the source and medium, how they perform.
Right. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, and exactly like we have talked about, the most key for us is to have full transparency to our clients. We need to understand them, and they need to understand what we are doing and why we're doing it. And instead of have endless amount of hours just copy paste figures in like PowerPoints or like in different report types in Watergraph, we can when we want and how we want, we can put in some widgets to see and do some research on the KPIs that you and your client is thriving for. So for Pinterest, instead of going to Pinterest's own reporting tools, what the results of the campaign was, and how the, for example, ROAS or the revenue on the website is, you can take an amount of widgets into the report here, and then you can just scroll like 2 seconds and see in the same window, you can see how did this affect the website. That's why we always have the website foremost in the beginning of the report, because even if you do like a reach campaign where you just want a lot of audience, you want a lot of reach, you want a lot of impressions, you can see trends on your own website, maybe through just direct traffic into your website because of you do a lot of reach marketing. But in this case, we always thrive that clients sends an inquiry to the company by the website. So also why we have the website in the beginning is to also have that as a measurement to see if the campaign were successful. Because if you spend a lot of ad spend on, like, for example, Pinterest, and you want to thrive traffic to your website, and the first thing you see in the report is the website insights, and you see that there's no traffic or no growth in traffic from Pinterest, already there, you can see that something maybe isn't right. And then you can see further down in the report, like this, for example, you can go into, as we talked about before, you can see the main KPIs you have set up with your clients. So for this instance, we want to see, okay, what reach do we have in the target audience? So we have like saved pins. How many saved pins do we have during the campaign period? How many outbound clicks to the website do we have? How much do we need to pay for in CPM or CPC to get those clicks through click-through rates to gain revenue on the website? And instead of using like your computer and have like thousands of tabs open, you have just one report, and you can also in the widgets you can combine. So for example, we have like saved pins here for an example in Pinterest. You can have organic saved pins, you can have earned paid pins, you can have like paid saved pins. But here you can go into Watergraph and you can apply a custom formula and just narrow it down to a total number, because that's the key KPI for the client. Instead of, as you talked about before, instead of showing them 25 numbers and say like, that amount is okay, this is not so good, this is average, this is really good, we have combined it and we can show them the transparency and just conclusively talk about, here is your KPI, this is the result in one platform.
What's impressive that rather than copying pasting lots of figures from the tools into the PowerPoint slides or Google slides, you know, that you could just create basically like a real-time PowerPoint once, and not have to worry about that again. I also think it's really really cool how you have the top performing creatives here as well. So I think straight away it's easy for our clients to see what kind of creatives are working, obviously for a very visual platform like Pinterest.
Exactly. Yeah. And then we usually also have, like in the report, as we also talked about before, like dashboards. For us at Market Solutions, dashboards are more of the continuously check up with the clients, where we maybe just have like 5-10 widgets where we show the main KPIs and the results. And that one, we send the link to the clients, where the client easily, with just a short URL, can go into their own dashboard in Watergraph to see on a daily basis or weekly or monthly or yearly how the trends in the marketing and the performance throughout the year has been. So for this client, for instance, we would need to go to like Meta and Pinterest and Google Analytics and Google Ads and find the figures, find the right figures that our client want us to report on. It's much easier to just use Watergraph to just sort of pick them out and put it in. And as you said, you can do it quite nice as well.
Actually, if you get your designer involved in creating a report.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I mean, other agencies and ourselves, before we used Watergraph, we used endless amount of hours just to do the reports with the figures. But then you use the same amount of hours to make it look nice, because you don't want to go to a client and show them just some a bunch of numbers. You want them to get the relevant info on the KPIs that they want us to measure, but you want to do it in an easy, simple, and nice designingly way. And if you want to do that in something else, that's a lot of hours.
Awesome. And how many hours have you saved, do you think, by moving to a more automated platform and ways of working?
Maybe I think like before we used Watergraph, we did our reports in PowerPoint, and we have a various amount of clients in case of size of the budget. So if we have a client that has a pretty big budget and like a lot of campaigns throughout like outdoors and digital on search engines and social platforms and stuff like that, we spent almost 1 or 2 days to make one report for the clients. And that's also one of the negative parts about doing reports manually, because if you spend that much time on doing a manual report, you also almost is like out of date with the data, because it can happen, especially when you do like marketing on the digital platforms, you know, digital trends. It can go on days and weeks. And if you do a report and then you maybe schedule the meeting with the client in 2 weeks in advance, then you have like 2 weeks off of the data, and then you need to backtrace. When we go to the meeting with the client and said, hey, we did this report like 2 weeks ago, let me just change the dates. Wait 5 minutes to the computer to just fetch all the numbers, and then you're done.
Sometimes I often hear that even when using various tools like social media tools, for example, that should help with reporting, a lot of the times what our prospects and clients used to do is that they would still copy and paste figures from various tools into some sort of different slide deck. And even though we have a bunch of tools that are supposed to help with reporting, they still, you know, there's still a lot of manual work involved. I think the beauty of something like that is that you can make this look as a slide deck and a PowerPoint, and avoid still copying, pasting figures from various different platforms that you use. To summarize the takeaways, main reasons why clients end the relationship with the agencies are not the agency not being strategic enough, poor communication, lack of transparency, and failure to demonstrate results. Look, at the end of the day, if you think that you're doing great as an agency, but if a client is not on the same page and doesn't, that will not yield to long-term relationships. And some of the tips that we recommend to employ to reduce the chance of losing a customer would be to provide regular updates, agree on the KPIs that matter, track and report on the performance of all campaigns and channels, granularly and blended. Share insights, not just data, very important. A lot of clients don't actually understand raw data, especially if there's a lot of it, and plan collaboratively. We recommend you to ensure that you have a right solution in place to help achieve all of this and save a lot of headache in the process. If this is time consuming, and especially if you are still have some manual steps in your marketing data management process where maybe you're copying and pasting figures into decks, you could be leveraging all this time to use on more high value tasks and ultimately have more billable hours for your clients. And a platform like Watergraph can help you make marketing data management and client reporting easy and pain-free. So if something that we have shown piqued your interest, we would be delighted to offer you a pre-personalized walkthrough of a platform tailored to your needs, and you can book it at the time that's convenient to you using the link that's on the screen, so t.ly/Watergraph, or you can just go to watergraph.com and have a look around and book a personalized walkthrough or request a free trial there. So I hope that you found the presentation useful. Again, a lot of the tips shared can be applicable, I think, in whatever platform you're using. On the other hand, if you are using a bunch of tools that are still requiring you to do a bunch of manual work when aggregating the data or copying the data into reports, I would recommend you to look into something like Watergraph. And thanks again, everyone. And just feel free to stop over our booth in the event platform. And yeah, I hope to talk to you soon. And thanks again for both Simons from Market Solution. It has been a pleasure to be talking with you today.